Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Uhuru is Swahili for freedom. My name is Kongo Likay. I'm a member of the Uhuru movement. And Uhuru movement is a world African organization that was born in the 70s after the military defeat of the African world struggle. And today I've been more focusing on the issue in the Congo. But I want to come from a perspective where, as African, we have the duty to organize wherever we are. So while we're here in the UK, we have to organize, to have a prosperous life, or to have a struggle right here in the UK. But at the same time, we also have to, because I'm born in the Congo, and the thing is, the African nation was so broken and dispersed that when I got here into the UK, you have to build the whole thing from scratch, because there was no organization of African people trying to claim back Africa or trying to claim back the right to have a good life here. So before I start, I want to recognize the leadership of Chairman Omali Yeshitela, who's the leadership of the Uhuru movement, whose vision has inspired and gave us the tool to run with in terms of understanding the world from wherever we are. So, I want to recognize Chairman Omali, Louis Kinshasa, Makola, who are, strong leaders among the African people's organizations. Today I've been speaking about the genocide in the Congo. As you all know, there's a genocide in the Congo, but I don't want people to act, I'm sorry to say act, but to be surprised. Oh, there's a genocide in the Congo? Yes, there's a genocide. And reason why I'm saying people shouldn't be surprised is because the edifice, the system in which we live into, was born out of the genocide of African people and the destruction of the indigenous people. So, system requires genocide to exist. So we shouldn't be surprised like, oh, there's a genocide. No, we live in the system that requires genocide to maintain itself. And that's why we're here today. We just, we're going to go a bit about the birth of the capitalist system, because we find people here in this, like mostly people that call themselves socialists in the Western world, that want to define everything according to their own terms. And sometimes they're trying to define capitalism as if it was, as if capitalism has some redeemed quality. Like, from my perspective, coming from an oppressed nation, coming from the Congo, you can't tell me capitalism has redeemed quality. But for people here in Europe, you can claim, oh yes, it has redeemed quality, because as the sister pointed out, this eradication of the disease and the improvement of life, social condition of European exchange. In the same time, where I am from in Africa, or where the oppressed peoples are, it was the stealing of our land, our freedom, and our prosperity as a people. So for us, from our perspective, if we don't see the world in the lenses of a white power, capitalism has no redeemed quality. There's no redeemed quality in capitalism, because right now in the Congo, there's over 8 million people killed, destroyed life, and that's not new. People shouldn't play as if it was some new thing, because we all know all the books that has been, all the books or library here that define the reality of the world, they have much information to understand that this system was born at the expense of ours. The destruction of the African lives, and taking the land of the indigenous people. And, sometimes I go back to this analogy where people say land of the free. Land of the free. Who's the free? Who's the free? If you were here in England 500 years ago, and you go to a stolen land, you go to the indigenous land, and you give it land and slaves, that's the land of the free for you, because in Europe you didn't have no land. That's for you is land of the free, home of the brave. That's for you. But for the indigenous, it's genocide and Holocaust. For us, the African, is genocide and Holocaust. So when people say America is the land of the free, it's no freedom for all. As you should know, there's over 2 million Africans locked in prison in the US in the so-called greatest democracy. So, the freedom is not for all. So that's why we're coming from a perspective of the oppressed nation of the world, because we as oppressed people have a common destiny. As we are the foundation, I'm just trying to make a little figure here. We are the foundation of the whole pyramid here. We are the only people that have what it takes to build a new world. Now some people claiming to change the world from books and reading and growing bit and stuff like that. We have there's nothing for us here not to strike and finish this whole edifice that's been destroying civilization and life. So that's why we say we, the oppressed nation of the world, as we unite today with my brother Jay and Amaru and the sister there, we're here to give one message to our people here in London, that you and I have a role to play right here in London. You and I have the role to play and organize here, because this is the center of the so-called capitalist world. This is where you find the Bankses and all these people. This is where you find the gold here, right here in the town and in London and all these places. This is where you find you go to a museum, you find our memory, our collective memory, our history. So we here have a duty, and we have a duty to organize and take back what belongs to ours. You can start from going from libraries to museum, and you people say, oh, you went to the British Museum, but look, the containing is all ours. You know, so we have stuff to claim right here from London. It's not about go back to Africa if you're not happy. Give me my shit back. So there's no surprise in terms of there's a genocide in the Congo, because 100 years ago there was this King Leopold II from Belgium. For the car industry to blow in Europe, to become something great here, they had to impose a genocide in my people once again. So genocide is not something new into this civilization here. This barbaric civilization is building, just destroying life to get the best profit, the most profit, get the most you can out of it. So, you know, this whole thing that, you know, people sometimes call, like people here, like socialists here. They said capitalism, the highest expression is imperialism. That's what they say. But from oppressed people's perspective, when the European went to Africa, to the indigenous, to the India, they had no capital here. There was no capital. Desperation was taking place here. And they said they were looking for spicy. If you leave Europe and go 8,000 miles away to get spicy, that's a statement of desperation. So there was no capital here before. When Europeans left Europe, it was all disease, stricken poverty, landless people. Feudalism was here. But when they went to Africa, now the black body becomes the first commodity of capitalism. The black body, black skin, the antenna of the black skin in Africa became the first commodity. When they may lie to you and say, oh, this nice stuff about these academics can come and give you books about how capitalism was a great, because look, we have civilization, we have development, we have this and that, we have technology, we have genocide. That's what we have. That's what we have. We have genocide. We don't, you know, all these things that people may define as advance of human life that takes 85% or more of a whole civilization of the indigenous, and you want to say we've been out? That's not advancing. That's killing, destroying life. And look at the state of the planet. And there's nothing redeemed in this capitalist system. So we're saying, from our perspective, that oppressed nation of the world, the number one contradiction that people have in the world is between the oppressor nation and the oppressed nation. That's the number one contradiction we have. Because the oppressor nation, Britain, France, America, they sit on us. Everything we produce. If I was working in the Congo from sun up till sundown, digging mines to get coltan, to send it here, right here in England, so that people can benefit from iPhone, the best technology, high tech and stuff like that. That's, you know, for me, the definition of my reality has nothing great in terms of how these people define, how the people here want to struggle for better wages. But hang on a sec, you want a better wage, but we're experiencing genocide. So how in the hell you want to call yourself a progressive person? That's not being progressive. Your struggle begins where you steal everything. You steal the land and you say, oh yeah, that's the issue we have here.